Okay, everybody, here we go. I want to almost laugh, really, but I'm not going to. We have a lot of stuff to talk about here. So here we go. Monday, January 27, 2025, post market wrap up. For those of you just real quick who did ask about Vega, I didn't do a video this morning because she had to go to the vet and get checked out. So she's doing fine. She still needs medicines for about another month at least. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. All right, look. So, before we even get started here, prior to today, how many of you even heard of DeepSeek? Like 1%, 2%, maybe? All of a sudden, it's the biggest thing going on right now. Do you think maybe there's something else going on here? I'm here to tell you that there is. Most of you probably already know exactly. Most people did not even hear this stuff prior to today. Just kind of came. That'll make me. Mark's making me laugh here. Look what Mark wrote. The timing is absolutely perfect. Exactly. And I am a guy who does not believe at all that this is a coincidence what we're seeing now, because again, we're going to cover what's really going on, why this is happening, and what we're going to see. Understand, we call their moves before they do it because it's too simple. We got their playbook and that's pretty much it. But anyway, so let me just start off with this. This morning, like most of you, I woke up and stock futures were down across the board big time. Okay, what was the next thing that you looked at? Probably the same thing that I looked at. What's happening here in the debt market? Well, I am certain that your eyeballs probably popped out of your heads with springs on them. A massive effort to prop up that debt market, bond yields down across the board. Now, anyway, I put this out this morning before I took Vega to the eye doctor. I want to just read this to you. It'll set the stage for what I want to talk about. So this is in your inbox. Again, if you subscribe to my newsletter, 100% free, link in the description of the video. So we have a problem market reality check. First of all of you know that this isn't a market. We don't have a market in any way, shape, or form. Is this a market? This is a freak show built upon oceans of debt like you can't believe. And unless they inflate more, they die. I'm talking about, again, central banks who are not going to allow themselves to go under. The bridge to the new system is being built very fast. You all know that. They need an excuse or any reason they could come up with to pump the system. Anyway, let's go. So I wrote Lions at 6:35 a.m. Eastern. This morning, stock futures are markedly lower across the board with several factors in play. I didn't even mention DeepSeek here. There was a reason why I left it out of my little list here, which we'll cover in a second. So, because it's too funny. So my several factors in play were, number one, and this is no secret to anyone, the stock market on the back of sustained easy money policy, artificially suppressed rates, and therefore currency devaluation since 2008 have completely detached the whatever this thing is, the stock market from any kind of reality. Okay, so we're talking about valuations, obviously, which you and I, nothing matters anymore. Things that should matter don't. It's all about easy money. Number two, continuing slowing of the global economy. Number three, rising inflation all over the world. Number four, accelerated rate of loan defaults. This is skyrocketing. Banks remain in a lot of trouble, but they're getting a backdoor bailout. In my opinion, this is what really is happening here with bank deregulation, crypto deregulation, and the merging of the two. And number five, you got this threat of tariff, which is kind of a wild card. No one really knows how it's going to play out. Anyway, whatever. So I went on to say this morning, bond yields are cratering. This appears as a massive effort to stop the bleeding in the futures market before the market opened. I mean, it was a massive effort to do so. Gauging from bond market action this morning, it appears that the Fed will not allow the stock market to fall. Will it be enough? This is how we ended the day, with the Dow up nicely after being down hundreds and hundreds of points. The biggest hit you was to NASDAQ. Remember that. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. So I wrote here in conclusion, to keep the stock market propped up moving forward, this is going to sound very familiar to you, will require, are you ready? Are you ready? Massively suppressed rates, possibly even negative rates. I think we're getting it, okay, at one point. And with that, an even greater loss of purchasing power. It's an incredible situation to see what's going on here, people. Anyway, so I want to cover, like I said, this whole thing. Now, with regard to DeepSeek, before we get there and before I tell you actually what's happening, I want to go over a couple of other things. So anyway, I showed you this, a major pump. Could you imagine what would have happened to the market today, and especially tech, if in fact they didn't pump the debt market like this today? This was epic, epic. As a matter of fact, this is the U.S. 10-year yield right now. Now, the MMRI this morning dropped sub 300. Sub 300. This is where we are now. All right. Gold and silver took hits pretty much across the board. Cryptocurrencies got hit pretty much across the board as well. Definitely across the board here. Now, with regard to economic news, whatever. In some parts of the nation, new home prices are dropping to a 3-year low, even as sales improve in 2024. This is kind of interesting. This has nothing to do with anything else, but I want to cover this for you. Most of you have heard of dark pools. Dark pools are a method that the institutional investors hide what they're doing. Now, interestingly enough, Bloomberg did a little take on this. Wall Street enters darker age with most stock trading hidden. Again, Bloomberg. Here's a surprising new fact about the world's largest and most liquid public equity market. Most liquid, it's liquid on the back of debt, and it's all about easy money. Most of the activity is not public anymore. It's supposed to be. It's very interesting. So for the first time on record, the majority of all trading in U.S. stocks is now consistently occurring outside the country's exchanges, according to data and research compiled by Bloomberg. This off-exchange activity, which happens internationally at major firms, as I just said, or alternative platforms, is known as dark pools. Now, again, for the first time, most trading is occurring where you can't see it and you don't know what's going on here. This really honestly puts the average guy or girl at a disadvantage. And that's really not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a level playing field. But again, what would you expect in this kind of a freak show? Okay, now let's talk about this astonishing coincidence here that we're seeing. How many of you remember, this was an article here. This is from the 23rd, just a few days ago here. Stargate, America's $500 billion bid to corner global AI capital. Okay. Then out of nowhere, most of you never even heard of it, we get this. DeepSeek Sputnik moment sparks a rout in AI-linked stocks. Investors hammered technology stocks on Monday as emergence of a low-cost Chinese AI model casts doubt on the dominance of U.S. AI companies. Now, there is no coincidence here whatsoever why we're seeing what we're seeing. With regard to people, I really hope, okay, that you have done your research as to what's actually going on here with regard to Stargate. It is not what it appears to be. It's being sold to you, the public here, as they're going to be developing new. I'm trying to disguise things. I'm trying to disguise these so it doesn't get picked up by AI. Okay, so I'm drawing a little picture here. You know what I'm talking about? As a preventative or a cure for cancer. I can say that word here. Now, the issue that we got here, this $500 billion investment, you're going to see every excuse made in the book and things you can't dream, I would not be surprised to see an executive order to push spending higher for Stargate. Stargate, again, is really all about development of new these, about taking away your doctor, allowing machines to diagnose you and prescribe who's going to be held responsible, I wonder at that point, for malpractice. I mean, this is humongous, and I'm just scratching the surface here. Do your own research. So with regard to the tech sector, which took a hammering today, as I showed you here, there's going to be more investment in tech. You're going to hear that we the people need to push, we are going to be forced to fund this, okay? Forced to fund tech. We're going to be forced to fund Stargate. And I'm telling you, this $500 billion, it's going to be in the trillions here. This is a mechanism to allow the system to inflate. That's really what it comes down to. Again, never heard of this. Now, all of a sudden, it's the biggest thing. Does DeepSeek spell doomsday for NVIDIA and other AI stocks? Absolutely freaking not. Why? Because you're going to see what's going to happen here. You're going to hear our illustrious president. I'm telling you what's going to happen before it does. He's going to come out and tell you about investments in AI, more so in Stargate, government investment in it, because this is what we need to do, because we need to be the leader, because now China has got this deep fake. Yeah, deep fake. Okay, that's what it's got. You know what a deep fake is? Yeah. Well, DeepSeek is a deep fake. Here's another one. Tech sector plunges as Wall Street fears over stretched stock valuations. Obviously, that's true here. The valuation in this market are beyond belief. We've never seen anything like it. But U.S. stocks sold off on Monday as fears that China's AI company DeepSeek would disrupt the profits for big tech. You see where this is all going. It's too easy. This is a major project, okay? It's going to make the super rich super richer, and is a mechanism here to introduce a whole slew of this, and a whole bunch of other things. They're going to be changing laws. You can imagine, people, you're going to see things you're not going to believe with regard to this. And you'll just wait for it. Wait for the executive order, or wait for, you're going to be sold something. You're going to be sold. We must invest in AI because China's taking the lead. Just a few days ago, we were in the lead. Where did I put it? Here. Oh, yeah. As a bid to corner AI capital. But it's not enough. We need another 2 or 3 trillion on top of that. Oh, really? Wow. Imagine our shock. You can't make this stuff up. Now, this is what's happening and what is going to happen. So with regard to the tech stocks, NVIDIA got slammed today. I'm going to say this. Wait. Don't try to bottom fish here and fear of missing out. Just stop. All right. You and I need to see a few things happen still. I already outlined what's going on here. I believe we are going to see more rate suppression by the Federal Reserve like this morning, despite what's being set up. I want you guys and girls to understand what's happening here. It's already being set up. The so-called fight between Trump and the Fed. I'm not putting Trump down here, so don't get triggered. The setup is very simple. Every central bank wants to inflate. That's their power. Inflate or die. Inflate or freaking die. Okay. How do they inflate? It looks like their biggest mechanism right now is going to be, pumping more cash into the tech sector, obviously into Stargate, whatever they got to do, whatever Trump signs into existence. We don't have the cash to do it. You understand that, right? We don't have it. It has to be created out of nothing. And who's more than willing to lend? Well, of course, it's the Federal Reserve. We know this, right? But what's going to happen here, and I really believe this, the Fed probably, and I'm just going to tell you what I feel like. They're probably going to pause, okay, their next meeting. Trump is going to blow his stack off. He's going to call them boneheads and freaks and everything else that they actually are. And he could come up with a lot better names, and so could you and I, for these non-human entities that dwell within the halls of the Federal Reserve. This is the most corrupt, most destructive, institution in the history of the world. Central banks, it's what they are. They're wiping us out via monetary policy. They're shoving wealth right up to the 1% and 2%, and they're sucking it out of you via the mechanism of artificially suppressed rates since 2008. Who's making out here? Well, the 1% and 2% is what's happening to the world economy. Look around you, man. And that mechanism is going to get worse. So the fight is going to be the Fed should lower rates. They got to lower rates more. What are they doing here? This is Trump. Okay, and they're going to be laughing because the setup is, of course, the Fed's going to lower rates, but they're going to set up the argument first. So people, first of all, there are people that are not going to understand what's happening. Wait a minute now. They're not letting Trump implement his policies. His policies, the Fed, they're dreaming about lowering rates. Every central bank is. They're all doing it. More to come. And I'm going to cover some more of that in a second anyway, with regard to what's happening with the banks, how they're cutting rates and what's going to happen. But anyway, so again, they're going to beg. Trump is going to get his supporters who don't understand, because they're not taking the time to understand. Jonathan, thank you. To understand what this actually means. When a politician or a central banker says we're going to lower rates, okay, they don't tell you that it means you're going to lose purchasing power of the currency. They can't tell you that. So when you hear a president, a politician, or a central banker say, hey, you know what, I'm demanding lower rates. The Fed, we're lowering rates. They can't tell you what's actually going to be the outcome of it. You mean your cost of living goes up. Can't do it. But a lot of people who support Trump, no matter what happens, okay, are going to say, you're not allowing Trump to succeed. He's got to lower. We want lower rates because Trump said this is the right thing to do. Again, I'm not calling the guy out, but I'm just telling you how it's going to play out. I would be doing the same thing if it were cackling Kamala or the freaking Frankenstein Biden monster thing puke that he was. Okay. But that's the setup. And I even if the Fed does cut, and I think it's an outlier right now. When we get closer, I'll let you know. I think you're going to hit Trump scream, well, it's not enough. If they cut 25, he's going to say we want 50. If they cut 50, he's going to say we want 75. It's not going to be enough. It's all about, again, this game that they're playing to allow the Fed to inflate. The Fed's goal is to inflate. Central bank's goal is to inflate. This deep fake thing, I'm going to call it deep fake. It's not deep. You know what deep fakes are? I hope you guys and girls know what these are. Maybe it's my twisted brain. But DeepSeek, again, this is going to be used as a weapon against you. They're going to say, we got to invest $1 trillion now. We're going to throw $2 trillion because we have to corner the market. So the timing of this is insane. And it's no coincidence why this happened, man. Come on. Anyway, look, that's where we're at. And I think I covered everything I wanted to, except this. I want to briefly read through this and then explain to you what's happening. This plays right into what happened. And I wrote this before this whole deep fake thing. Okay. I want to read this to you real quick. It's in your inbox. Again, if you subscribe to my newsletter, it's going to show up in the Trends Journal this week and probably some other publications as well. So anyway, economic breaking point. Will we get negative rates? I believe we will. I believe we're going to see the economy, again, not just here in the United States, but around the world, continue to contract. You can't know that. You have to be told everything is great, and it's going to allow the central banks to inflate. You understand? It's basically what it comes down to. Anyway, so let's read this. The backbone of the entire world financial and economic system is being manipulated in a highly destructive and deceptive way. Imagine our shock, really. I'm referring to central bank issued notes, and over 90%, and I'm being generous here, of the world population has no idea that it's happening. My number one call for this year from 2024 was currency devaluation and devaluation via two specific mechanisms. Number one, vastly expanding debt. And number two, central banks artificially suppressing rates, obviously lowering rates. Currently, the Federal Reserve, listen to this, currently the Federal Reserve, along with the European Central Bank, the Bank of Canada, and the Swiss National Bank are in the process of cutting rates. In fact, this is the largest push. Don't take my word for this, okay? The largest push for central banks here collectively to cut rates since COVID. Moreover, other central banks are expected to follow suit moving forward in 2025 with even more rate cuts. They got this whole thing just sewn together, people. It's just a matter of how they're going to sell it to you. On Thursday of last week, January 23rd, ironically, and maybe, I don't know if it's coincidentally, Jeffrey, thank you. I know. Is there a coincidence here? I don't know. Same day that this Forbes article came out about Stargate, um, President Trump demanded that the Federal Reserve cut rates, a call which you and I said would happen from many months ago. Crazy. My call that this event would occur was specifically covered and outlined in the Trends Journal and many other places. You all know that we called this first. Make no mistake, whoever they would have selected as president, we would likely see the same exact thing when it comes to allowing and even possibly calling for central banks to inflate and suppress rates and devalue the currency. Could you imagine the freaking thing, vomitous, more than puke, cackling creature? You know what I'm talking about, Cameron? Imagine she was selected. Imagine her, who knows nothing, zero, about the financial system or economics. We know that, right? Imagine her calling for lower rates. They would have puppetized her too, and they would have puppetized Biden, too, whoever, didn't matter. Making the call that Trump would be calling and now demanding lower rates was simple because it's the same playbook as the last tenure. Now, months prior to the election selection, we said, and this is on public record, if Trump becomes president, he will call for the Fed to cut rates. And my call was followed by many boos and hisses. Oh, Greg, you're going to be wrong. Followed by legions of people, again, who said, no, Greg, you're going to be proven wrong. Well, these people remain silent. Maybe they're going to start to come over to our side and understand that this is a game. This is a massive deception on a massive scale. Moreover, I also said that whoever was selected as president would be the best friend to the Fed, helping the Fed to inflate, which is the goal of every central bank. Cutting rates allows them to inflate. How does the central bank keep rates low? Do they just say it? Do they just wave a magic wand? No, they have to create cash out of nothing and get into the debt market and buy the debt. You all know that. No one's going to tell you this stuff. Imagine how shocking. We, the people of the world, literally pay for central banks inflating in the form of accelerated currency purchasing power losses. Moreover, the more any central banker inflates or is called on to inflate by a politician's I demand lower rates, the stronger that central bank becomes. The exponentially stronger, by the way. Let us move forward. This went a giant step further on the 23rd when President Trump demanded that not just the Fed cut rates, but world central banks also cut rates. And now it appears, and look, man, I'm just telling you the truth. You take this any way you want to. If you're going to blame me or yell at me and scream at me because I'm putting down Trump, well, look, this is what actually happened. If you don't believe me, well, then I don't know what to tell you. It appears that Trump has now become the spokesperson for not just the Fed, but for world central banks. Demanding that the Fed cut rates, a process that they are already involved in, gives the Fed a green light to inflate and artificially suppress rates from here to kingdom come, and therefore devalue the currency even faster. Imagine how shocking. It plays right into what's going on here with Stargate. It plays right into what's going on with this and everything else, people. Paul Ryan, thank you. Now I go on to say, this process is the root cause of why the economy here in the United States and everywhere around the world are in a crisis of the currency, a liquidity crisis, an economic crisis, but you're not supposed to know that. But it sure is great for the stock market. The question is, will it be enough? This is what I want you guys and girls want to focus on. To prop up world stock markets, listen to this. Tell me if this rings true to you. Okay, people know the truth when they hear it. This will require extremely low, even possibly negative rates with that extreme currency purchasing power losses. This mechanism will be highly destructive to the middle class and put much more pressure on the economy. All this will also be exacerbated by the loss of the dollar's world dominance. Sound about right to you, or am I way off somewhere else? The mechanism of artificially suppressed rates and the currency purchasing power losses that are created by it are, of course, stock market positive. And this mechanism, you watched it happen in real time today. What happened pre-market? In the futures markets, they were driving rates through the floor. That was enough to push the Dow up 200 and something points here after being down hundreds of points. This is exactly why this mechanism exists. It's an in-our-face way to foster the greatest wealth transfer the world has ever seen, right up to the 1% and 2%ers. Now, I go on to say, people, listen to me. We can, we the people of the world, can have a strong economy and a currency with real purchasing power. However, that would be good for you and I, the average guy, the average girl, and it would require higher rates. And that would hit the price of stocks. Won't be allowed to happen. Moreover, higher rates would also undermine the Cantillon effect. You know what I'm talking about? The effect of the creation of easy money being accessible to the super rich first, and then it trickles down through the economy. Peter, thank you. Which would also not be good for central banks nor the 1% and 2%. You can see why everything we talked about here today, including deepfake, all plays together. Just watch what they're going to do. This is not an accident. Why this happened now? Why most of you never even heard of deepfake. Okay, we're going to call it deepfake, as I said here. It's an incredible thing. It absolutely is an incredible thing here. But what else? What would you expect to see in this kind of an environment? They can't stop. They can't stop inflating and creating reasons out of nothing to fund this, to fund that. Whatever it is, it can't stop. So, no surprise as to what we witnessed here today, what we're going to see moving forward. Sound about right? Are we all on the same page? I think most of us are on the same page here. It's absolutely insane. Pork roll, dude! This is the guy, man. He's the lead vocalist of the band. And we're gonna be jamming later. I'll see you later, bro. You know I will. Got my last ready. Oh man, I tell you, it's totally insane. Anyway, guys and girls, we're kind of there, man. I think we understand what's going on, all of us here. It's too easy. They make it too easy for us. And look, with regard to the tech sector taking a big hit today, you guys and girls are probably going to hate to hear what I'm going to say. Paul, thank you. This is probably a major buying opportunity. Why? They're going to pump cash into this Stargate thing, into New Lease, into the tech sector like you can't believe, and artificially suppressing rates here, and even a negative rate environment, although it is disgustingly horrible for you and I, is great for the tech sector. It's how it works. So the setup is so in our face. They think we're that dumb. Do you realize how stupid they think we are? We are so far ahead of them. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's laughable. When I saw this morning, I was laughing. I was literally laughing as I went over and checked the 10-year yield. Bang, 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 bang. MMRI sub 300. I said, look what they're doing. They're trying to stop the bleeding before the market opened. It's an incredible thing. And you're right. They are a joke. They think the joke is on us. The joke is not on us. The joke is on them. Because we know what they're going to do. We know their playbook. It's insane. Kisses right back to you, Queen. Guys and girls, anyway. So with regard to, again, the tech sector, NVIDIA that took a hit today, I would say this, man. Don't go rushing back. There's no reason for this. Or FOMO. No. Well, you and I look. What we really do want to see is a few things happen. I want to personally see the S&P 500 hold above, at one point, its December high of 6088. I would also like to see the MMRI drop below 300. We got that today. So let's see. Again, it's back up, of course. But look, when I get back in here, you guys and girls are all going to know. You're all going to know first, especially those of you that subscribe to my newsletter, because as soon as I make the trade, I'm going to shoot out a newsletter to everybody. Madison, 32, thank you. Who blocked me? Blocked you? Me. I didn't mean to be mean. Anyway, when the credit freeze through it at a time of their choosing, look what they're doing. They're propping up the debt market. Maybe it's not a good time for me to take some questions here. The freezing up or the locking up, I didn't do this tie very well, of the debt market will come at a time of their choosing. Right now, they're trying everything they can to keep the system liquid. Again, we're in a liquidity crisis. We're in a currency crisis around the world. That's why we're seeing inflation rise. Again, it's not the fault of this thing or this party or this person or whatever it might be. They got to make you think that. It's the blame game. The fact of the matter is it's monetary policy. Who runs monetary policy? Central banks. Central banks right now are the number one buyers the number one issuers and buyers of debt. It is a revolving door. It's a vortex, just sucking the entire system down with it, at the same time shoving wealth right up to the 1% and 2%ers. You see what's going on here? It's a dastardly, in fact, it's a diabolic mechanism. It's a diabolic mechanism, and we, the people, are being eliminated. I don't know where to put it. So again, the debt market meltdown, we're going to see this before our eyes. Instead of seeing like what we witnessed today with rates cratering, you're going to see rates spike in an uncontrolled fashion. I mean, we're talking 20, 30, 40 basis point jumps higher in the 10-year yield in one day. In one day, that's what we're eventually going to see. That is going to melt down the stock markets of the world so fast. What are people's heads going to do? They're going to spin around like the freaking exorcist. They're not going to know what to do with themselves. Everyone's going to run to the door at the same time. That's the way it always works. People are going to be caught deep with that I can't. Can I say that stuff here? Look at deep. They're gonna be caught with their pants down. Not you and I. Okay, we're cautious. But again, look, what are we looking to do here? We don't want to be in the market or anything else because there's no risk. There's always risk somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't always offset risk completely, honestly. Being hedged in the market right now, I think fantastic. Being our own central bank, betting against the system, holding gold and silver, obviously, are hedges against a meltdown in the debt market. You know how it's going to work. Debt market implosion at a time of their choosing will wipe out stock markets of the world. Money, cash doesn't just grow little money wings and fly away to money heaven. No, it doesn't do that. It's going to make its way into commodities, and yes, I still say cryptocurrencies. So that's where we're going here. Anyway, look, that's it's too easy to understand, honestly. What are you angry for, Madison? Madison's angry at us. What do I say? Did I say something wrong? Deep puke vomitous creatures. That sounds about right, Reinhard. Sounds about right. Listen to Pork Roll, my buddy here. This is Gigantor himself in the flesh. He's with us. Anyway, Deep Silver, guys and girls, you want to talk about anything else in particular before we cut out of here? I want to thank again all of you for being here. Seriously, and just you're so awesome, every one of you. And look, we got this. They make it so simple for us to see what's happening. All you need, literally, is just a couple of brain cells that are linked together and firing back and forth. The synapses, the neurons. You know what I'm talking about? It's all you need. The rest of this is just too simple, honestly. Anyway, guys and girls, I think we're kind of there. Could they lever Bitcoin to gold? Look, man, could they? Let me say this another way. With Shenolius Monk. We could end this right now. Imagine if today, just think for a second. If Trump would sign an executive order bringing us back to a constitutional money system, a gold-backed system, the Federal Reserve would shut their doors today. They would end. They would close down. We could take the system back. Trump could write 2 executive orders ending the fiat monetary system, going back to a constitutional money system. Forget about the crypto capital of the world. We really don't need to be there. Okay, we need a constitutional money system. I think we're all on the same page. And then revalue gold multiples higher. I mean 40, 50,000, something along those lines, and back the currency like that. We would win. Let me tell you something about that. The nation, whichever nation it may be around the world that does something like that first will win. Whether it's China's deep fake or whatever it might be, whoever it is, whoever returns us first to a constitutional money system wins. We are losing here. We will continue to lose here as the Fed is allowed to inflate. Not only allowed to inflate, but it's called upon to inflate by demanding lower rates. You can't make this stuff up. This is like the most twisted, bizarro, freaking freak show science fiction movie in the history of the world. And let me tell you something. You take down one one central bank, because they're all connected, they all fall. President Trump could do the entire world the greatest favor to the human race right now, to mankind right now, and get rid of public enemy number one, the most disgusting, vomitous, puking, corrupt system in the face of the earth, who's doing nothing but help the 1% and 2%ers get more rich at our expense. Jonathan, that sounds about right to you? Who are the families, dude? I think most of us probably know. But look, man, does it make sense to you what I just said? President Trump, I am pleading to you, okay? Bring us back to a constitutional money system and revalue gold 40,000, 50,000, whatever it might be. Get us back to a constitutional money system and we win. President Trump, until we do that, we lose. You know that's true. I'm talking to President Trump directly. He knows this. Anyway, guys and girls, it's too much. It's too much. It's too freaking much. All right, guys, we're gonna get going out here. And I think we've covered it all. Sound about right? Love you guys again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those thumbs up. It did very well today. If I have earned your thumbs up, people, I'm just gonna ask you if I earned it. If I did not earn your thumbs up, then actually, if you think I'm way off the wall, then go ahead. If I earned a thumbs down, do that too. But I really am working hard to earn it. I want to earn that thumbs up from all of you. And I'm going to ask you guys and just to don't write that, John Doe. I love it. I don't even know if I can say that out here. Anyway, what was this? Where was I? I don't remember. Yeah, share this stuff. Please get it out there. Exactly. Why are we not adding gold or silver to the reserves? I mean, that's a fantastic question. And I really wish, look, man, this is what my hope would be, really, honestly, moving forward. No matter which president is selected, moving forward, elected, or whatever your perspective is, that we, the people, start to hold them to account. We start to say, well, hold on a minute here. What about this? Hold on a minute. What about that? Why are we funding this? Why do we need more of these things? And you got to be careful about gestures you make. Honestly, you really do. And I'm not lying. When I have to click, when I approve a video, they ask you if you've done any kind of gestures that maybe looked at as inappropriate. And I think that they're going to, consider stuff like that as inappropriate. You can't even say certain letters in succession. Look what I had to do. I'm trying to disguise this. People, there's a major push here. And there's a lot of funding going in here, which, look, man, don't take my word for what I'm about to tell you, that Trump is backing. If you stand against this, this is where you need to hold. We all need, no matter which side of the aisle they've put you in, whichever box that you've been put into, we need to hold these people to account. So if this isn't what you want, if Stargate isn't what you want, that's a big part of it. Dr. Rizwan, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Hold these people to account. Go on their social networks. Start saying things. I don't know another way to do it. I am sure that you guys and girls are way smarter than me and can find a way to do it. But if we don't do that, aren't we supposed to govern ourselves, or are we just supposed to allow a freak show to do what they're doing right now and sell us more lies and deceptions and look here, don't look over there? Man, I'm telling you, deep deception. You're exactly right. It is so crazy what we're seeing here, guys and girls. Like, I know it's too much. I'm preaching to the choir. I know I am. All right, look, I'm going to get out of here. Got band practice. Pork Roll's probably getting geared up to go there. 5:30. 5:30, we got band practice. Let's see. Tonight's songs, for those of you that might want to know, we're doing Nothing But a Good Time by Poison. Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. Paranoid. We're working on that one. Black Sabbath, of course, and Lick It Up by Kiss. Those are the four. We got a bunch of other ones too. Anyway, that's it, guys and girls. All right. Love you. Thank you for being here. Like I said, if I've earned your thumbs up, I appreciate that. And I'll see you all. I will see you in the morning. All right? I'm going to take Vega to the doctor for a month. In a month, I'm going to have to take off again on a Monday to bring her out there. All right. That's all. Over and out, people. Until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other.